Hello, Flat Earth researchers, debaters and debunkers. If you're one of those people who rallies against anyone looking into Flat Earth and trying to do scientific experiments or establish scientific principles, making accusations that Flat Earthers can't do science and don't understand physics or mathematics, while at the same time refusing to adhere to any kind of scientific principles in what should be scientific research, and instead supporting shoddy science and pseudoscience and compartmentalized explanations that have no basis in our physical reality, then you're a hypocrite. And you're pathetic for not being able to man up enough to admit that it is almost impossible and has never been scientifically proven, and only done so with deceptive techniques, to say that we live on a spinning globe Earth. It's childish, it's a fantasy, and all of you people who are being hateful and nasty, making baseless accusations and trying to obfuscate simple issues like eye level, then all you're doing is trying to defend your belief and stay in a cult that we have been programmed and initiated into since birth. And if you man up, then you can be free from this. But there are some of you who refuse to do so. For some reason, you want to cling on to this ridiculous idea that we are spinning through empty space for no reason at all, instead of just taking a good hard look at reality, natural physics, and humanity, and the way our minds can be manipulated into holding on to beliefs. People don't want to become flat earthers and face the kind of accusations that we get. But it happens when you just grow real balls and start looking and experimenting and testing for things like curvature. And you find there isn't any. So you find the only way to defend this belief is to try your best to not commit to first principles of any kind of discussion or experimentation or exploration. You want to keep it as wide open as possible, so that you don't have to commit, because you know that the moment you do, then it all goes to pot. This is the thing, you're all smart enough to realize that the moment you accept the reality of things such as the horizon rising to eye level, then it's a slippery slope to having to let go of the globe Earth belief. And then you come along with accusations that we should be taking angular size into consideration, or insisting that the sun change in angular size. I'll tell you what, if you want to claim that the sun never changes size for anyone, then you have to make billions of observations every single day of every single sunset that every single person on this earth sees. You can't just take one person's video and say, oh, the sun never shrinks in angular size, and dogmatically stick to this so-called proof from one person who might want to defend the globe in the first place. They are not being truly scientific, are they? So if you want to defend the globe and claim that you stand for genuine scientific inquiry, then do some bloody science. If you're going to just carry on making accusations against flat earth researchers, people who want to really explore where we are, why we're here, how we got here, then it's pathetic. It really is pathetic that grown men will make so many excuses for the pseudoscience used to prop up the globe earth belief and shoddy experiments. It makes me angry, yeah, because we've all got the intelligence to work together to find out where we really are. But you've got dickheads who just dig their heels in, come up with the same old excuses, use the same old pictures of alleged curvature across a bloody lake, and claim it's reality. And now you've all had to jump onto this whole thing about perspective. You've had to realize that perspective is a thing because it governs every single observation that we make. There is perspective involved in this video that you're watching now. It is unavoidable. It is a scientific law, and it can be described mathematically. But you will continue to call it perspective and say it has nothing to do with our observations. That's not scientific. That's ignorance. It's childish. So all you can do is come up with hit pieces and make fun, snide remarks, get nasty, and try to discredit and shoot the messenger instead of saying, okay, let's go out and do some real science. So I'll tell you what, if you want to go on about angular size of the sun and make claims that it should or shouldn't be doing this, go ahead and provide verifiable, undeniable, demonstrable, physical proof that the sun, even though it appears to be the same size as the moon, is in fact 93 million miles away and much, much bigger than the moon and the earth. Go ahead and prove it scientifically if you are going to make any accusations about angular size or demands that the sun should change in angular size. Go on, produce your proof to back up your accusations and your defense of the globe earth belief, because that's all it is. It is just a belief. Look at you making all your hit piece videos and jumping to contradict someone who simply wants to lay it out as we see it. And be scientific. You don't want to be scientific because you know that real scientific investigation ends up with the realization that actually there is no scientific proof for the idea that we live on a spinning ball going around the sun. None whatsoever. It's not that difficult to reverse engineer how the globe earth model has been constructed and been impressed upon our minds. But it is very difficult to accept. I never set out to argue with people or to be hateful. Yet maybe I was naive to believe that once some of these things were pointed out, people would get it. In fact, I know that you get it, all of you, defending the globe and spreading flat earth hate. You get it. You're all smart enough. But you don't want to accept it. And you don't want to stick to scientific principles and fundamental aspects of scientific investigation. Eye level. It's not a debate what eye level is. This camera is not at eye level at the moment because it's tilted up. That's it. There is no need to obfuscate this issue. Unless you want to have the freedom to say, oh, but it's like this. But no, it's like that. So you hypocritically claim to be defending scientific fact that we live on a spinning globe Earth. Yet when people demand that we do things scientifically, you make excuses and you prop up pseudoscience and unscientific investigation. It's really pathetic. Because it's not that big a deal, but it is a big deal at the same time. And all this hatred for flat earth researchers, or people trying to tell you that we don't live on a spinning ball earth, is based on fear. Just that, you're just scared. We were all scared. Anyone who has realised that we're not on a spinning ball earth and might call themselves a flat earther or a truther, has faced that fear and realised that it wasn't anything to actually be very scared of. Because once you do, then you are free. Your mind is free. And that has always been my personal mission to... I'm no expert, but all I've done is tried to realistically investigate and find out whether it's in fact true or not that we live on a spinning globe. And I've realised that there is no scientific proof. There is no curve. Nothing measurable. Only interpretations, what we see in the sun, moon and star and in the sky. And of course that involves perspective, and that's why I focus on perspective. But we're all experts on perspective, otherwise we wouldn't even be able to function in this world. You don't need to be told what perspective is. Anyone can work it out for themselves. Because you have to use it in order to drive, to walk, to throw things, to do anything. Anyone with a pair of eyes is an expert on perspective. But the only reason I do videos about it is because people refuse to think about it. And think about the fact that any observation that we make with our eyes involves perspective. So at this very basic level, you've got people trying to deny it. And the only reason they try to deny it is because they instinctively know that the moment you accept this as a real thing, then you have to accept that we have been conned into believing and perceiving something that can only exist in our minds or as a mathematical model. It doesn't exist in reality. Not just go ahead and see if you can find verifiable proof. Try to prove to yourself some of these pseudo-scientific explanations passed off as scientific fact. And then go and see if anyone has actually managed to, if science itself has managed to prove the idea that we live on a globe and are going around the sun. Go ahead. Go and look for pictures of Polaris from professional astronomers that are any different to anything that anyone can take with their own telescope or camera even. There is no proof of the idea that Polaris is, what, 400 light years away and 50 times bigger than a sun that's supposed to be much more massive than the Earth? Anyone who looks into how the globe Earth model has been created can quickly realize that it's a whole bunch of assumptions and explanations based on some very loosely founded assumptions in the first place, with a presupposition that we're going around the sun. It's very simple. If you decide that you want the sun at the center of your model, how do you justify day and night? You have to have a sphere rotating. You can't have a flat Earth. It doesn't work. That's all. That's why the globe Earth model in the heliocentric model is a globe. Because it's the only way you can justify a smooth transition between day and night. Doesn't make it true, does it? It's just an interpretation. You watch the sunrise and you watch the sunset. And you have to believe that that happens because the Earth is a rotating sphere, not because the sun's moving. It's never been proven. There's no science to back it up. Yet there are people that will expend enormous amounts of energy and time defending this ridiculous, unscientific belief. Why? Why? What's in it for you to defend the globe? What's wrong with questioning where we are and questioning the people and the organizations and the agencies that insist on telling us where we are, being an authority? Because you don't want to think about it? Because you don't want to take responsibility for your own life? You want to be told? You want to just take it up the arse? Because it's easier than actually thinking for yourself and doing real science? It's sad that there is so much deception, and people will defend that deception with their own deception and ugliness. We're at a stage now where there is much better potential to find out more about where we are, why we're here, and try to answer some of those fundamental questions that have never, ever, ever been answered by any kind of science or scientific community. Certainly not by mathematicians. You want to put your life, your reason for being, you want to be told by some authority, some corporate entity? Or do you want to find out for yourself? If you cannot or will not man up enough to do that, then you've got no place making accusations against people looking for the truth. What you need to do is just let them get on with it and quietly deal with your own demons until you're ready to accept that actually nobody knows. Nobody is an authority on your life except you. Time to get real. So this is fair warning to any of you monkeys who want to make hit pieces or want to come along and make accusations and be ugly. You're going to get ignored. I'm only looking for progress. There are plenty of people out there who are on the same level and are prepared to do that. Those of you who want to drag your heels and stay stuck in your globe earth belief, go ahead. Just, you're not going to be coming along for the ride. Thank you very much.